Hello and welcome to my world. I'm of course Fred Kaz, and as you know, 7 nights a week I stream live on Twitch playing a variety of video games. And towards the end of each week here on YouTube, I generally post a video commentary. It might be a review or first impressions of a game I've either started or finished, or whatever other thing that just happens to interest me at the time I decide to sit down and record something. This time around, I just wanted to give a little bit of a rant piece on the fact that in terms of everything that's happening in the world today, I am both mentally and emotionally exhausted. Part of it is tied to the fact that in my day life, I work in the realm of market research, which generally means I am conducting interviews on a variety of different topics. More often than not, they are politically focused. So I'm talking to folks about the people that are running in upcoming elections in November, or giving points of view on things like amendment changes to state constitutions, like I'll say something involving like a flat tax change to a more uh uh prorated tax or something of that nature. It was like, yeah, mentally draining. And then so in when doing those interviews, I'm having to remain straight up neutral. And despite my own personal beliefs and everything of the nature, my job is to remain neutral at all times. And that's something I do carry over to when I do my Twitch broadcast. Because more often than not, say 99.9% of the time, I generally don't bring up anything political on a Twitch stream. There are some times where I might mention something uh, if I thought it was interesting enough, but more often than not, I rarely bring it up. But more often than not, this over the course of the past couple months, with everything with COVID-19, the extreme stupidity of people uh, doing those protests as relates to the quarantines and state lockdowns, to the George Floyd tragedy and that fallout. It's like, and having to keep up with that, and I do try not to look into it, but again, I people know I am active on Twitter, and generally that's where I see a lot of it. And and again, you don't generally see me posting anything in regards to it or talking about it, but you know for a fact that sometimes I do respond to certain things, or I'm following certain individuals who are definitely passionate and somehow show emotionally and mentally invested in just about every single fucking little thing. It's quite amazing, but it's comes across to me as being phony at times. It really does. I mean, and when I start suspecting something, like folks are being phony with everything that's been happening, it's like, okay, how do I know you're being genuine? How do I know that you actually are meaning what you say? And and it really comes down to how they respond to, okay, how do they respond to a counterpoint or a fact they may have intentionally failed to mention. And definitely saw it earlier this week, when one person got a little up out of sorts when I pointed out that um, one corrected them on their own information when they were complaining about something. I'm not going to go into the full details of it. Again, those tweets are still out there on Twitter, so you just go back to, I think it was either Monday or Tuesday, and you can find them. So it's like, okay, it's my way of testing things out while remaining neutral. It's like, okay, hey, here's a fact that you forgot to mention. Now, I agree with you, but you forgot to mention this. Is that this thing has been done, and so forth. And again, so I'm I'm really starting. to suspect the motives of people on both sides of various issues, as I see them, particularly on Twitter and so forth. Um, Now the question is, where does the mental and emotional exhaustion of having to see all these issues and trying to remain neutral and unbiased carry over into streaming? Well, since I look at streaming as a way of me trying to entertain folks and provide some escapist entertainment for them so they don't have to uh, deal or talk about or see anything associated with everything that's happening in the world today, uh, it's it really comes down to like how engaging whatever it is I'm featuring is in terms of it. As folks saw last night was on this week's Star Trek Online stream, that okay, you definitely saw that the mental sharpness and emotional sharpness of being invested with what I was doing certainly was not there. And it's an unfortunate circumstances, but it is the effect of again having to remain neutral at all times for one's profession, and then seeing all the things associated with everything that's been happening over the past few months on a day in day out basis online. So it's it, yeah, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from, I hope. But still, it's it's a great thing about being able to do little commentary videos like this. It's just to verbally get it out there and just vent a little bit without getting too angry or so forth. So this week's little commentary is not all that long, but still just more of like me just giving a rant on everything and just clearing out the gray matter, clearing out the mind. So with that said, you'll be seeing this week's highlight reel on Sunday morning at some point, and of course, streams from this week's Twitch streams will be ported over as well. So till next week, hopefully, I will have something different to talk about, and that's a little bit more upscale. Tighten your friendship bracelets, so watch your hang down, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.